Good morning, all. I hope you slept well. Happy Thursday, the 4th. I have to work both my jobs today. It's gonna be a busy day. I'm keeping two jobs as long as I can withstand it. Just for principle alone at this point. It's one of those things, to each to their own. I understand the system. I understand the systematic abuse. I understand the community that I find myself in. I understand the world that I find myself in. I understand the nation that I find myself in. I think we all do in some ways. We all do. And, I have goals set and just keep pounding the pavement, It's one of those things. Put your best foot forward, take pride in your performance, and strive to be the best version of yourself. That's all you can do. That's how you win. That is how you win. All these other people that try to have a victory, it's sad that we have to fight for truth. It's such an interesting concept. I watched Barron last night, and just the grossness and the whole thing. Every day it's something new. Every day there's something revealed, and every day nothing is done. Nothing is done. These people walk among us. That's what's scary. It should scare you if you have little ones. Seriously. It should scare you. It should startle you. To each to their own. It dang sure does me. It dang sure does me. That's why I fight the good fight. Because I do have a son. And I'll be dang if I let him fight this interesting world we live in. Solo dolo. That's why I think they go after our youth. They, do all these things to the children, even myself, when I was younger, just to warp your mind. It's just crazy. Anyways, I wanted to break down the meaning of coward. Something came over me yesterday, and I wanted to break it down because there's a lot of them, unfortunately. To each to their own, No judgment here. You know your truths. You know your truths. This is what trippy to me. At its core, a coward isn't just someone who feels fear because everyone feels fear. The real meaning goes deeper than that. It does. A coward is someone who allows fear to control their actions, decisions, silence, especially when truth, responsibility, and courage is required. That is the biggest thing. When truth and responsibility and courage is required, it's like they're like, what can I do to get myself out of this situation? Who can I blame to not take accountability? Right? What kind of illusions can I create to make people look the other way instead of looking at me? And it's just one of those things. When you have people at the tippity top moving and operating in this, it kind of sends it down through the trickle. Like, hey, this type of behavior is A-okay. Especially in the justice system. Especially in the justice system. Especially in the judicial system. Come on. It's just 2 + 2 = 4. Fear versus cowardness. Fear, natural, human and instinctive. Cowardness, choosing fear over what is right. That's really what it boils down to, is allowing your fear to control what is right. And that's where your consciousness comes in. And so when you start allowing your fear of knowing what is right kind of supersede the actual action of doing what is right, is when you start creating unfavorable circumstances and situations within your reality, whether that's inside your head, whether that's your intentions that you're pouring out into this world. Would it be like deflection, manipulation, coercion, blackmail? These are all things that come within that sphere. because you're allowing fear to control you. Core traits of cowardness: avoids confrontation, avoids truth, avoids accountability. You know, I don't know that they so much avoid confrontation. I don't think they avoid confrontation. I think they, a lot of the times, truth be told, I think they create it to avoid the truth and accountability, to create an illusion from what's really happening. And again, this is my personal opinions. All right? I'm not talking to anybody specifically. I'm just saying generally. Not everybody's a coward, obviously. But unfortunately, the reality is we do have a lot of people within this nation, within this world, that move and operate in these types of intentions. It's just the truth. And we need to talk about it. Silence when speaking is needed. Sees wrong but says nothing. Knows the truth but won't stand on it. Self-preservation at all costs. Protect image, position, and comfort over integrity. Goes along with the crowd when it's wrong. It's been a big issue, especially in my sphere, is people going along with the crowd when it's wrong. And what you don't understand when you do that, you're just opening up a pathway for karmic debris to kind of come into your world, whether that's within your family, whether that's within how you feel about yourself, whether that's within the dynamics of your workplace environment, whether that's in the dynamics of your friendships and your marriage. I mean, all of the above. You just don't realize it because because the fear that you're carrying within yourself, which then creates the actions that you're pouring out. If the actions you're pouring out are in a negative stance, you're going to allow negativity to come into your world. It's just the ebb and flow of the frequency of it, truthfully. Psychological aspect: cowardness often comes from fear of rejection, fear of consequences, and fear of losing control and status. And that's the big reason. That's why instead of allowing these things to take you to a negative headspace, when you pick up on these things, just kind of table it and give people space. You know, I know some politicians right now are trying to do a little cleanup, you know, pass some fairly decent laws. Now, does that mean that it's going to hurt us down the road? Maybe. But allow them to try to clean it up. If they don't want to accept responsibility, fine, so be it. Whatever. I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. And so it's one of those things. People who know something is wrong but won't speak up. Leaders who protect systems instead of the people. Leaders that protect systems instead of the people. We're seeing that on the grandiose scale. We're protecting a system that's been very prevalent for decades upon decades. And it's getting so in our face that you can see that it's not protecting the people. If anything, the people are at the bottom of the toll pole. Misuse and projection. Sometimes cowards use a weapon to shame others or project by people who avoid their own responsibilities. And that's the thing, is I think right now we're seeing so evidently the misuse of weaponization, of manipulation, deflection, illusions, false flags, gossip, fake news, it's across the board, really. And you can kind of pick between the two. You really can. And so it's one of those things. We had a young lady start yesterday, and something I said that was really came out of nowhere. I said, it was an interesting morning, and I find it to be unique in this little world we live in, where people in the business sphere, you walk into any type of store, any type of transaction, whether that be people doing work on your house, things of this nature. Like, for some reason, we have this new adopted concept that people carry. It's like they tell you to jump, you're supposed to you're supposed to say how high, right? It's like they want you to move hoops and do pirouettes. But they're not the ones paying you. They're not paying you. You know, they haven't quite gotten to that portion of the transaction, if it even meets to that transaction, but they feel like you have to jump. And it's just frustrating to me sometimes, because it's like, treat me the way that you want me to treat you, right? we'll respect. You got to make a living. I got to make a living. Let's